So during last week's episode of Platinum End, I had a whole drawn out conversation with you guys about really telling you that Platinum End really needed to step it up. And the reason is because it took a really sharp decline. I think out of the most recent anime this year, Platinum End has had one of the best, I would say probably top five this year, episode number ones. Like, it came and it completely grabbed my attention. Like, I was really excited for this anime. More so than I thought going in. Like, I'm not the biggest Death Note person in the world, but I was like, okay, Death Note is a solid, really good anime. Again, I'm not the biggest fan of it, but I can realize that it does some things, and it's really popular, and it's really popular for a reason. If there's a show, a piece of media that's extremely popular, it's popular for a reason. It might not be for you, it might not be for me, but there's still something special there. So when going to Platinum End, I kept an open mind. I said, just because I don't like Death Note, that doesn't mean that this person's going to do the same writing over here. And they really did it. There's a similar kind of like baby concept there with being able to kind of control and manipulate. But at the end of the day, like there's not too much similarity. So when episode 1 came, it came in and it just really set the tone. Like the way that Mirai was able to manipulate his aunt and the course of action that he took with his uncle, and like everything that occurred there was just a little gruesome, a little exciting, a little mystifying, and it just really set the tone. But ever since episode 2 came in, and then 3 and 4, really, I feel like it took like a really sharp decline, and I feel like it just got, I don't know, a lack of a better term, bad? I don't know. It just wasn't, it started to be really just not for me. And Mirai was just a really like, he's kind of an idiot, and it's hard when your protagonist is kind of a dum-dum, you know what I mean? And it's hard to watch people who are always in anguish and always crying about who they are and always are in self-loathing mode and self-pity mode. It's just really hard to watch anime that has characters like that. So regardless, though, with all that being said, we're talking about episode 5. This one was called Death Sentence, so immediately we knew the tone there. And last week's episode involved Mirai about to go and take action because of the girl who was going to get killed by Metropoliman. Thankfully, that didn't happen. Nase, his angel, came in. She capped and saved the day. And she came to talk to Metropoliman. Now, the girl still ended up dying, but she came in and basically said, idiots, do not move. Don't make a mistake right now because you will get yourself killed, right? And we knew that. We knew, like, if this man moves, he's going to die. And he didn't move, and, Nase goes and talks to Metropoliman. She sets the stage. She kind of semi-threatens him a little bit. And before they could leave, they get Saki and Mirai get a picture taken of them. They end up, hauling ass back home, and then they get confronted by this dude who's on his deathbed, essentially, and he's one of the 13 as well. He begins to help them. They put together some plans for, some suits that they can have. They come and they strike a deal with him because he's already kind of accomplished what he wanted to with these powers. So now he's just trying to accomplish ensuring that somebody like Metropoliman doesn't become God, because he wants to make sure that the world's going to be safe for his family and for his children, after he's gone. And a very noble thing to do. Then at the end, we get introduced to Metropoliman, him at school. He's at some kind of like rich military or boarding school or something, some not normal school. And then that's kind of when like the future stuff comes into play, because apparently his younger sister died or is dying, and she was put on ice, like she's put in like cryo freeze. And he just has a chair that he can just sit there and just watch her. It's so weird. We just need to know more about Metropoliman, but he's definitely a unique character. And part of me is he's just so ruthless and badass. I kind of root for him a little bit. But I'm interested to see, kind of like he's the antagonist to our protagonist. So it's interesting to see kind of what ends up happening moving forward. And then at the end, we get introduced to what will be the serial killer for next week's episode, who I think is the one who's going rampant killing ugly girls. Or it was Metropoliman who instigated that with his friend through an arrow, and his friend's killing ugly girls. I don't know. It's something very interesting that's going to happen next week. But I will say, this episode, I don't want to say it redeemed itself, but this episode was much better than the last two. I want to know more about Metropoliman. I like that it's starting to give me more about Metropoliman, his origins, where he came from, what he's doing, what's been driving him. I like that we're going to get other interesting episodes surrounding the other candidates, who they are, what they are, who they're doing, you know what I mean? Like, I'm interested to see all of that more. I want to just take away the focus from Mariah a little bit, just because I feel like he's exhausted his time as our main point of view, and I kind of actually want to see other folks' stuff. And Saki, she's not much more interesting than Mariah is. But again, I still think it didn't redeem itself, but this episode was better. If the last episodes were just trash, this one is like, this was a good episode. Good episode. First episode, masterclass. Second episode, good episode. 3, 4, bad. This episode, good. So I would say, okay, I'm hoping next episode gets good. I like what they're showing us for the next episode's character. She looks interesting. She looks crazy and nutty. I want to know more about her. Hopefully she's not like a 10-second spot like the first guy who was who got killed in his car. Hopefully she actually gives us more. But like I said, I think this anime's, there's potential here. It just feels like it goes woo woo woo. So we're gonna see what ends up happening. Let me know what you guys think about all of that. Let me know what you guys thought about this episode. Tell me if you loved it or hated it. And tell me what are you thinking about this anime overall. Tell me in the comments down below. If you guys missed our reaction to this episode, go check it out right over here. And I'll see you guys next week for episode number 6. Peace out, friends.